Hi everyone, good morning. It's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. Hope that you're doing great this morning wherever you are. I am in Switzerland after a trip to Europe where I very conveniently picked up a little bit of a cold. So my voice sounds a bit crazy today, but I'm doing okay and hopefully you'll be able to make out what I'm trying to communicate here. But I've got a cup of tea. As I always do when I travel, I pick up interesting teas in little shops, and England is the place for tea. There's so many choices, but I did find a little health food store that had a tea made by a company. It's a mother and daughter company. It's Taka Turmeric.com, and they had only two teas. There was one that was turmeric with vanilla. It's got some cinnamon and rooibos tea, and also another one which I'll show you later, which is turmeric with hibiscus. And all these things were things I absolutely loved, so I picked up a little packet of this tea. So I'm drinking today my golden turmeric, and it's got vanilla and some other wonderful spices. So I've got my little flower cup. Cheers. Hope you're doing great, and that wherever you are, you're having a cup of tea or coffee, and just feeling good about yourself and about the world. Now, one thing I did actually experience when I was in the UK is that pretty much everywhere I go in the world, there are older women traveling and on the road, but we all, when we get together and talk, discuss the fact that we get lonely at times. We talk about solo travel being such a great way to go, but sometimes there are moments, even with the strongest people, who feel that vulnerability and that sort of loneliness in their life. So finding friends and fighting loneliness in your 60s is a big deal. Our social circles are getting smaller. We don't have the same context for relationships when we don't have our children or, our working colleagues around us. So it's kind of a different set of challenges when we get into our 60s. And that void is very powerful, and it's powerful emotionally and physically. And in fact, I did a really great interview with Suzanne Braun-Levine several actually years ago now about this whole idea of loneliness and how important it is to have girlfriends. Have girlfriends that you can talk to and ask meaningful questions and go deep. That's kind of the difference between the technology, what technology offers us, which is lots of friends and contacts on Facebook, Twitter, other places, Instagram. But we, at the same time, need those people we can just sit down with and talk, and have a conversation that goes beyond the tick box of a like or a share or a heart. So I think that's really important, that the technology is great. It helps us and empowers us. But at the same time, we need to go somewhere deeper. And I hate to break this to you, but we've got to actually take the initiative here. No one's going to come knocking on your door saying, "Excuse me, but I hear there's an interesting woman living here. We'd like to maybe be your friend." It's going to take you getting involved in a very dynamic way. Reconnecting with your networks and reaching out, overcoming your fears. So I think it's all about taking a bit of a chance. And, you can either decide, I'm going to be an introvert for the rest of my life and not really bother with making new friends, or I'm going to go for it. And so I'm going for it. And I think we've created a community here with 60 and Me where you can go for it, where you actually can reach out to people and have a conversation online that you can take a little further if you, when you get to that point. And I always encourage our 60 and Me women to start up conversations in coffee shops or, whether you're out and about, or to join a meetup. Or start one where you can actually say women over 50 who love to read books, or who love to go to the theater, or who love to go dancing. And you'll be surprised how many women will join you in those meetup groups. So that's just a couple of, sort of superficial ideas, but I want to just take a few minutes to go a bit deeper. By the way, do you like my necklace? I bought this necklace in the UK. It was in a little charity shop, and it was, I don't know, some silly amount, £2. And can you see how pretty that is? So it's got little stones all along the top, and then these funky little turquoise things. And when I saw it in the glass case, I was like, what is that? And the woman pulled it out, and I thought, oh my goodness, I just have to take that home with me and share it with all my friends on 60andMe, because I know how you are intrigued by these necklaces that I find. And this one, I don't know where it came from, but it's quite unique. Anyway, just happened to notice it in the phone as I'm talking to you here. So anyway, just back to friendships, because that was actually, speaking of friendships, that was a really interesting conversation. I had this woman at the charity shop, and there was someone next to me who also might have bought it if she hadn't seen it. And we got into a nice chat about jewelry and individual style. It was a cool conversation. But that's the kind of thing I think that you have to do. You have to get out there and talk to people and engage. And also, in your heart of hearts, you have to believe that you are a good person, that you're worthy of love and you're worthy of attention and friendship. That you're worthy of that. You're good enough to reach out to someone and offer yourself as a friend to them. And I think until you get that confidence in yourself and you truly, truly believe that, then you have a hard time. Being authentic and creating an energy that people feel comfortable with, because it is that dynamic. We're human beings. We follow up, certain signs and tones in our voice and different actions. So I think the longer that you stay in your own little cocoon, the harder it's going to be for you to make friends. Honestly. So I think that's, so the first thing maybe after getting confidence in yourself is to just ask yourself, what makes a good friend? What are the qualities that you look for in a person? Do they share similar beliefs? I mean, can you, in your mind, only be a friend to someone who has the same beliefs as you? Is it someone who likes to do things like you do? Someone that likes to travel, or someone who likes to go shopping or collect certain things. What is it that makes you close to a person? I mean, is it someone who has the same religious or political beliefs? We've talked a lot about this in 60andMe about, having your own point of view, but making friends outside of that world. But sometimes that's not for you. That's not what you consider a friend. So I think that's the next thing, to figure out what are the qualities of a person who you might call a friend. Trustworthy, honest, funny, stylish, intelligent, literary, or adventurous. What are the qualities? And I mean, I would also encourage you not to limit these criteria of friendship to your own age, because honestly, some of the best people I've met in my life have been recently the younger people, like the ones I met on the Nomad cruise last year. Honestly, I keep in touch with them. I just love their passion for life and their energy. And I would say that some of them have become friends. We've talked about things that are important to us, and they're following my journey and I'm following theirs, albeit online. But I would say, personally, in my opinion, be more expansive. Another hot topic that actually Suzanne Braun-Levine and I talked about was whether you can have a friendship with a man, with a guy, without it turning into a date or a sexual or physical relationship. Can you make friends with men in your 60s? And pretty much as far as I'm concerned, that's the only way for me to have a relationship with men right now, is to be friends with them. And I have got a lot of good friends of, again, all ages, who are just close to me because we have a similar outlook on life. And I think that it did take me a while, though. I'd be honest. I mean, when I was divorced, it wasn't that I was afraid of men. It was just that I didn't want to make any contact. I would literally walk across the other side of the street so I didn't have to confront someone who was a guy. And of course, I've got over that now, but I know some of you are there. And it's really overcoming those fears of trusting yourself to a man, and in a friendship way, where you can have a conversation about a topic, or have coffee or tea, or just go travel together. But you don't have to be a mate or a husband or a lover or a wife. You just have to be yourself. And I have a very good friend, actually, I won't mention her name, but she's someone who she travels with people that she's met online, and, has, after several months and years, got to know them. And they've had cruises and fun times, and, she's no intention of going any further. And I think if you block guys out of your life because you've had a bad relationship, or you've lost trust, then you miss something. I think you miss something personally, but not for everybody, of course. So I think the other thing to talk about is, just letting yourself consider other options. There's a whole spectrum of relationships, and I speak with Lisa Copeland, who is a dating coach, about this. By the way, I'm going to be interviewing Lisa in a couple of weeks. So if you've got any comments or suggestions for questions, or just things you want to talk about, just pop them in the section below, because she focuses on women over 50 and is very this strong believer that you can find friendship along a spectrum with men, and it doesn't have to be locked into a marriage or romantic relationship. So anyway, I think that's really what I wanted to cover today, in this discussion about friendship and loneliness. If you're feeling lonely, try some of those things that we've talked about. Ask yourself what you're looking for in a friend. Have confidence in yourself as a beautiful woman who's brave and authentic and worthy of friendship. Establish a connection to your networks. Go back to high school. Go to your friends on Facebook. Take it a bit further. And also, just basically open your heart and your mind to different ways of relating to people. Maybe not the same belief system or the same personal passions, just nice people that are interesting. So I'd love to know more about, how you find friendship in your 60s. Are you finding it easier or a little harder? And what are you doing? What are you doing to build relationships in your 60s that are helping with the loneliness and the desire for friendship? I'd really like to know. Anyway, thanks again for being here, everyone. I hope this is useful. I hope that you found it inspiring. I really do appreciate your time here. Check out our 60andMe website. We've got all kinds of articles there. I mean, honestly, we've got so much to share with you, and we always love your open feedback and your comments. And don't forget also, if you feel inclined to support 60andMe, to visit our patreon.com/60andMe, a smaller community of women who have made a commitment to help us grow our business. And we've had such fun on that channel, just to say openly that it's been really good for me. So that's our Patreon community. So that's it for today. I hope that you've had a good conversation. Have a cup of tea or coffee, and tell me, do you find friendship harder or easier in your 60s? And what do you do to make friends? Give us some ideas. Okay, everybody, well, have a really, really good day. Take care of yourselves. I hope that everything's well with you and your world, and we'll talk again very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.